Alright, guys, here we are for our final week of fantasy football garbage talk. Obviously, I know it's not the end of the season, but with with the playoffs in most leagues starting next week, and trade deadlines have passed and all that jazz, there's just not going to be anything left worth to say. And obviously, not every team is going to be making the playoffs, so there's not anything for them to click back and or look at. Their season will be over, stuff like that. And for those who have made the playoffs, then whatever it was that you did well enough that it worked. So there's no need to mess with it, or you guys know exactly what it is that you have that you need to do and take care of. So it is going to be our last week for a few of those reasons, and it's been fun, it's been interesting, but we still got this one last order of business here. Um, First off, with the NFL picks, we're just going to kind of go down through the games and then kind of talk a little bit about where each team is, perhaps. Eagles, Seahawks. You gotta just think that the Eagles should be winning most of these games that they're losing. But for that matter, they've lost almost all of them in the fourth quarter alone. But it's just like at one point you would expect that they're supposed to win games that they're supposed to win, but they're just not. The Seahawks are better at home. Vic is out. McCoy is most likely not going to get any touches because that would be just exactly what my teams don't want. So, because he's been sucking. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Seahawks win at all. And just for the sake of having fun, I'm just going to pick the Seahawks. Why the hell not? They're probably not going to win, but I'm just going to pick them to win anyway. I don't care. So, Lions, Saints, you got Saints. That's pretty easy, especially without Sue, who's making me sad lately. Sue, what are you doing? Colts, Pats, obviously Pats. Like, that's not even funny. Titans, Bills. I'm going to take the Titans. Why not? The Bills are on a massive slide, and, the Titans aren't exactly doing so hot lately either, but whatever. I'll just take the Titans because I can. Chiefs, Bears. Obviously, you got the Bears. Although, hey, you should use Forte a little bit more. Hint, hint. Might be nice. Douchebags. Raiders, Dolphins. I like the Raiders a lot. I think I like them probably more than the average person likes them. I think they're a really solid team. I don't think that it's a joke that they're winning games whatsoever. So I'm going to take the Raiders. Broncos, Vikings. I don't I don't want to pick the Broncos, but I have to. I just have to pick them. Oh my God, it's embarrassing, but I have no choice. Bengals, Steelers. I kind of want to pick the Bengals, but I'm not going to. I'm still going to go Steelers. Panthers, Bucks. I'm going to go Panthers. Why not? Panthers, like the Raiders, are a team that I like them better than most other people, so I'm just going to pick them. Why not? Not like the Bucks or anything fantastic anyway. Jets, Redskins. I'll have to go. This is like a lesser of two evils. Neither one of these teams deserves a win, but one of them's going to have to, and I can't pick a draw. I guess I'll pick Jets, but not because they deserve to win, that's for sure. Falcons, Texans, man, that's going to be good because Schaub is gone, and, that's going to be a really, really good game. Wow, Atlanta's actually favored, I guess just because of the quarterback situation. They do have a really good run defense, I suppose, and all the Texans can do is run. That's going to be a really, really good game, actually. I'm still going to pick the Texans just because I can. Screw it. I'll pick an upset. That's right. Ravens, Browns. I'll take Ravens. Giants, Pack. Before, I probably was looking at Packers to maybe slip up this game, but not at this case. They're not going to lose to the Giants right here. I will take the Packers in that game. Cowboys, Cardinals. I'll go Boys. Rams, 49ers. I got 49ers. Chargers, Jags. Ugh. Chargers are like the Eagles. Like, they should be beating these cats, and they're not. But it's the Jaguars, so I guess they'll go over the Jags. So as far as that's concerned, I guess there's not really too much. I don't really want to waste time talking about expectations for the real NFL playoffs and jazz. But as far as who's gonna beat the Pack, if anyone, looking at the game, I don't want to find a way to click on this and mess up my screen. But as far as if anyone can beat them, I'm thinking the Raiders are probably going to have the best chance of the teams who are left. I do. So I don't expect the Raiders, obviously it's going to be a massive upset for anyone who beats them. But I'm just going to, if I have to throw one game out there to call it, I'm going to call the Raiders beating them. And then if, of course, that happens, which it's not going to, but I'm going to call it anyway, they'll probably sit Week 17 versus the Lions, as they don't want some dirty douchebag Lions to get their players injured before the playoffs. They'll probably sit them then as well, and hell, they'll still probably win the game even with sitting people. But, a chance they'll lose Week 17 versus the Lions, regardless. But, if they walk into that week undefeated, then no, they're going to go 16-0. So, anyway, I'm just going to call the Raiders just because if I had to pick one week, that's the week I would pick. And then with the Colts, granted, I've already picked the Colts once, I think, to win a game, and I was wrong, so it's not as exciting as if I randomly pick, the one game that they win. But I think they've got 2 games left, one versus the Titans and one versus the Jags, that they have a theoretical chance to pull out. And I'm just going to go with Week 15 versus the Titans. I'm going to just try and pick that one, If I get credit for picking the game that they end up winning out of the whole season, then awesome. But they've got 2 games left. It's probably more likely that they beat the Jags than the Titans, but that's just how I'm going to pick them. So deal with it. Anyway, guys, that's going to end our NFL picks. And now we're going back into the leagues. Obviously, since the trade deadlines and all that crap are over, which I was expecting it to be over at the end of this week, or starting this week once Thursday started. And I was wrong, so the whole time I was advocating, check your rules, check your league. I didn't check my own well enough. So that with the trade deadline already hitting, that totally messed me up. There were a few things I still wanted to try and work out, and I wasn't able to. So TPX League, which I guess should be TPXC FFL League at this point now since we've changed our ZAT, is a little bit different in the fact that it's got 2 weeks left. There's this week and then one more week before playoffs. So I'm either going to be 8-6 or I'm going to be 10-4 or somewhere in between. I'm 1 game up on 2 different teams with 2 games to play, and then even the guy over here I'm tied with, I have the tiebreaker on him as well. So there's only 1 guy ahead of me, and I don't know. Like, this team has been doing so awesome. It was 6-1, 7-1 at one point, and now it's 8-4, as you can tell. It's just been tanking. Like on that little chart that I show you, how the lines always go up and up and up and up and up. And, they're at a really high state. The last handful of weeks, it's just been let's suck. Forte's been sucking and fumbling. McCoy's been purposely not running into the end zone, and Foster's been double fumbling. Like, what the hell, guys? And I lost by 3 points. I lost this last week by 3 points in a game of which Green Bay said that Jennings might not play very much, if at all. He won't be 100%. So because of that, I started Finley as opposed to Hernandez at tight end, and that cost me 4 points, and I lost by 3. I'm like, thanks, because obviously Jennings didn't not start. It also didn't help that I sat Janikowski, who got 23 points as a kicker, and I started Hansen, who got 0 points as a kicker. Like, come on. I'm not expecting 23 from my kicker, but I was hoping for 7 from Hansen against Green Bay, at least make 1 field goal. But he didn't. He missed. So, obviously that didn't help. And then I made a couple of stupid starts, and I didn't wake up in time to, analyze my team and make another change, and I lost points elsewhere. So, there were three people I could have started that I wanted to, and I didn't, and I lost because of it. So that doesn't help. But I'm still in good situation. My next 2 matches are actually against these 2 guys down here. That being said, though, both of them the last couple of weeks have put up huge numbers. So considering my team is going down and their teams are going up, despite the fact that they're the 2 bottom teams, there's no guarantee whatsoever that I'm going to win these games. If it went by projection, I would have 150 points every week and I'd win every game by projection. But projections don't matter. So I still think I should be okay to make the playoffs here, but it's not at all the guaranteed lock. Hell, I'm not even in first place now. I'm the guaranteed first place lock that it looked like for quite a bit, unfortunately. But I still feel fairly confident that I'm going to at least make it, and then probably lose in the first week of the playoffs and whatever. Winning in the playoffs has never been my goal. It's always just been make it or make it as number 1, depending on how good my team has been. So I still have a chance to make it number 1 if this dude loses his games, but who knows, whatever. So there's that team. What did I do anything with pickups? Oh yeah, I'm sitting Hanson's dumbass for the rest of the year, you douchebag. I think I flat out, no, I didn't drop him, so he's still gonna sit there, but whatever. I picked up the Eagles defense because they actually have a pretty good defensive schedule. Seattle, Miami, the Jets are just inept offensively, and then Washington down here week 17 as well. So the Eagles have a pretty good schedule to finish things out. So I picked them up. Miles Austin might finally be coming back, so holding on to him this whole freaking season might be worth it, but, whatever. So, yeah, if McCoy doesn't play, I'm actually in a big world of hurt. Do I even have another? I don't even have another running back on my team. So I need to pick somebody up now, because he might not even play, and if he doesn't play, then I'm freaking screwed. Oh, no, Forte's over here. I got 3 running backs. Okay. So, yeah, I still might have to, obviously it's something to look into, but that's all for TPX FFL. Thank you for playing. Kaboosh! Super Kids, a league that I have with one guy in TPXC. It's been a lock that I'm going to be the number 3 seed. Since he's going to be the division winner, he's going to get the 2nd seed regardless, even though I've got the tiebreaker on him, and there's a good chance that I'm going to have a better record than him at the end because of who he plays and who I play. We'll both most likely have 9 wins, and I've got the tiebreaker, but it's pretty much, it is guaranteed that I'm going to be locked in at the number 3 playoff seed here, so there's nothing exciting going on about it. This team has also been tanking the last few weeks, and just this past week I lost my number 1 scoring spot, which I had. Same in TPX, I was the number 1 scorer until last week, so both leagues I just lost that title. But whatever, unfortunately, who cares? I've known that it's been a guaranteed lock in here anyway, so it's like I haven't really cared. I've just been kind of starting whatever, so no big deal. Did I make any changes to it? I don't think so. I don't think it matters. Oh yeah, I started Benson, who actually did pretty well. Adrian Peterson's out. That doesn't help me, that's for sure. Which is one of the reasons, obviously, that I've been losing my scoring spot, because Peterson hasn't been playing. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's the way it goes. No big deal. Thanks for playing in Super Kids, and boosh, there goes that league. Looking at Eagles Dominators, my broken league. 11-1, only lost 1 game to a dude who just had a good week, and I had a bad week. It was my lowest scoring week of the year, and he got me on it, so whatever. And this league, I've been locked in at the number 1 seed for the last 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. Like, being a playoff lock is one thing. Being the number 1 lock is just nuts, and that's been 3 weeks of it. Crushing everybody, and this one's standard scoring, and it's at 13-15, which again is with my teams, on the downcline and scoring less and less points every week as well. So whatever. It's still just been a really good score and really crazy league. I got to give props to this guy over here, Bros over Shianko's, Tim Rizzo. He's also in the Zat, winning 5 games in a row, and he's at 7-5. That means he was 2-5, but now he's busted his way back in here, and he's locked himself in for the playoffs. Even when I beat him this week, that's right, I'm already calling it. Even when I beat him, he's still going to get in because he has tiebreakers over these 2 guys. So unless they score ridiculous numbers of points and he doesn't, assuming, reality kicks in as it should, he's going to be locked in for a victory. And I mean, like, ridiculous numbers of points. Well, no, hold on. Riddle, he doesn't have the tiebreaker over Riddle. Oh, no, that's right, but he has it over this guy. Yeah, he has it over this guy, and he's got it over him. Yeah, so this guy would need to score like 100 points more than he scores to kick him out, which is not going to happen. So, ironically with that, if the bracket stays the same as it is right now, which it probably will, unless, I suppose, if Riddle loses and he wins, it won't. But I'm actually going to play him over the 2-week span of the first game of playoffs as well. So I'm going to be playing this guy for the next 3 weeks, which is really funny. But whatever, so be it. I'm locked in here. Let's just take a gander at what's going on. I think I dropped Hanson in here as well because Hanson's a douche. Yeah, I picked up Gould. Picked up the Pats because they have an easy, super easy schedule left. I'll probably set them versus Denver, maybe Buffalo, Miami, depending on who else I can pick up. But I know I mentioned in the last week that you want to pick up defenses in advance at this point since there's no more trades. And you got to just get as many points as possible every week. You're not going to be worrying about, having certain guys back on a bench. So just pick up an extra defense and just throw them on there before they become good. Like I picked up the Pats and the Eagles when they were playing each other. So everyone's dropping them, but they're both really good the rest of the year. So I pick them up. So now people aren't going to be able to pick them up once they realize, oh hey, they have good matchups. So take a gander at what your defense is not good at and what defenses are available and where they are good, and just try and match up so you have somebody who's really good every week coming up. And that's just going to be something important. And as far as this league is concerned, I think that's everything. They were awesome. 99.9th percentile the entire year because they're just boss. And despite obviously Forte and McCoy sucking lately, just been kind of going off reputation. But that's going to end it for this league. So thanks to everybody that I dominated. And the funny thing is, I didn't want to join this team until the very end. Like I was talked into it by the guy that I'm playing this week from the Zat. He was like, "Oh, come on, just one more league. It needs a spot." I'm like, "Well, fine." And I drafted. Well, I thought I drafted differently, just with like a different set. Based on where I picked my wide receiver. I picked him earlier, and I picked my QB earlier. So I don't know how the hell I still got both of these guys. And then I purposely tried to pick different dudes. And then I picked my second wide receiver earlier and all that jazz. And after draft day of my 4 teams, I thought this would be my worst team, and it ends up blowing out a ridiculous number of teams in all of ESPN, which is hilarious. I thought it'd be crappy, and it ended up being just disgusting monster. So, whatever. There goes that. Boom. And then finally we get to my last team, which is the very first one, ironically, that happened, or had the earliest draft, I should say. TPX drafted second, and then the other 2 teams drafted after TPX. So this was the very first team that I ever drafted. Believe it or not, this was my first fantasy season ever. I absolutely hated fantasy pissed me off, and I hated it so much the last several years, and I never ever wanted to do it. And the guys at TPX convinced me just to play it this one year, just with them, just with the buddies at TPX, and I was like, well, that's fine. Might be fun, might be interesting. It'd be sweet if I can just go 500, have some fun with it. And I ended up just getting stoked, just the whole pre-draft stuff. I ended up loving it. I was having a blast, and I joined, these 3 other teams just in case one league wasn't going well. I wanted to, I didn't want to judge it if it went really badly and that I would hate it. So I joined other leagues, ended up having a blast. Anyway, this has definitely also been my snake bit league. I'm second in scoring in the league by just a hair, and there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to make the playoffs regardless of that. Right now, as it sits, I'm currently in 4th place. As the 3rd seed over here is beating the 2 seed over here. But I'm fighting. My match this week is against, a number 1 seed, despite the fact that he should not be number 1. I mean, look at his freaking points for and points against. It's a horrible points for, and it's a terrible ratio. He's been outscored, and it makes no sense how this dude is 9-3 because his team is garbage. It just shows that he gets lucky, and that's who I'm playing. Whereas this chick over here, she's playing the worst team in the league this week as well. So she's probably going to win, which means I absolutely must win. If I win, then I'm going to be in, unless she wins by, what is it? I think 19 points. Yeah, if we both win, but she outscores me by 19 points, then she beats me anyway. And then if we both lose, and this chick comes in here and outscores me by 30 points, I think, somewhere around there. 30 points. If we both lose, and then this chick outscores me by 30, then she gets in anyway as well. So, and they both have really easy matchups this week. They're both playing the easiest teams in the league, and I'm playing the freaking number 1 overall seed. Well, I guess he's actually number 2, huh? Yeah, so he's number 2. Go figure. But it's just really tough. Even if I win, I'm not in. I can lose and still make it as well. So the playoff race is really, really dicey at this point. But I've been having earlier in this league with just really ridiculous luck. Multiple games of losing by 1 point in cases where my guys got injured in the first quarter and left, or the fantasy case where if you have 39 yards and 59 yards that you only get, you don't get that point for having that one extra yard, in a league where I lose by 1 point and all of my guys had something 9, something 9, something 9. So it's like, really, I should have 5 more points than I do. Stuff like that. So despite the fact that I might not make these playoffs, I know that I definitely had a team good enough for it, and I legitimately should have made the playoffs if I end up not making it. And even despite that, at the end of the day, first year of playing fantasy, and this is my first team I ever drafted, that I'm going to be going 3-1 most likely as far as my 4 teams that make the playoffs. So that's pretty good. Like I'll take that, for the rest of my life if I can go 3-1 with making the playoffs out of 4 teams. So I'm having to start CJ Spiller here, which sucks. I know I need to score as many points as possible. That's the thing. But I don't trust Sean Green ever. I've hated him all freaking season, and he's hurt me. I don't trust Eric Decker. I don't trust Mike Williams to get points, even though he's got a good matchup for it. He's been so bad. At least I know with the running back, I know they're going to get touches. As it says here, yeah, he got 22 touches in his first start, which is really good. He just did nothing with them. So it was against the Jets, though, as well, and the Jets are pretty good against the run. Granted, the Titans aren't too bad against it either, but it's just like, I feel like he's got to do a little bit better, and he can be used in the passing game as well, because he's one of those, like, double flex type of guys. So it's just, I need to score as many freaking points as I possibly can to try and win this game, and because of that, I'm having to pick guys with higher ceilings. So I've got to hope that Rice and Gore actually get used, as opposed to lately, like, they haven't been getting used whatsoever. Like, freaking 0, 8, and 3 in his last 3 games. Like, really? That's not helping me win these games here. I just needed to win one of those games in there. That 11 points versus Seattle, I lost by like 2 points or something. I mean, it's just been crazy. So I am projected to win by like 5 points, but we all know how projections turn out. I guess Turner might not. Well, who knows? Beanie Wells can do that. McGahee, who knows? All of his dudes, like, they don't look like they're unrealistic projections in his case, and some of mine are way too high, I think. Gore's not going to get 23. Rice is not going to get 19, Gates is probably actually going to get 5. Fitzgerald's probably not going to get 14, so it's just like, my numbers I would expect them to go down, and his, I think, are actually right about where they should go. So I don't think I'm going to win this week, despite the fact that looking at this graph, my team has been better than his the whole freaking time, but he's going to make the playoffs and I'm not, most likely. So it's just frustrating, but, whatever. I'm expecting that I'll be 3-1 as far as playoff-making teams, with one of them the number 1 seed, one of them having a chance to be the number 1 seed. At one point this year, all 4 of my teams were the highest-scoring team in the league. Obviously now only one of them is, but my other three teams are all number 2 for highest scoring. So I've got 2-2-2-1 as far as highest scoring teams go. 3 in the playoffs, maybe 4. And I think it's been a really successful season, and it's been a ton of fun. I don't think I'm ever going to do 4 teams again. Like, that was a big mistake, but 2 or 3 for sure. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Obviously, there's only like 200 people who watch this, so whatever. But hopefully it led you towards some success. That if you asked a question, it ended up making you start a right guy and you won a game because of it. That would be the hope. As far as the rest of the games of the season are concerned, if you legitimately still have questions over who to start and whatnot, just post a comment on any one of the videos. I'll still read the comments on these things for the rest of my life, as long as they're up. So, excuse me. So if you still legitimately have like a starting question, you guys are absolutely welcome and encouraged to, still ask your questions that you have. There's just not going to be a set video for that set week. This is going to be our last vid for it. I've definitely been burned out of NFL these last few weeks with all this fantasy garbage happening, and the semester ending, so finals and all this jazz, projects are picking up, and I've never been so excited to look forward to the end of a football season than I am right now, ironically. But whatever. So there's not going to be any more vids for it. So I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. And, whatever. Thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy. Peace.